Welcome back to the Authentic Creative, expanding your capacity to feel good. I am delighted because I've got my gorgeous friend, Kate French, here. She's also a breathwork facilitator. I'm going to read you her bio and then I'm going to share with you something fun that we just did. So, Kate French is a breathwork coach at Stronger Soul Coaching. Isn't that a beautiful name? Stronger Soul? I love that. She started her journey as a restaurateur, opening her first bar and restaurant in 27 and launching a second in 2017. After struggling with painkiller addiction and seeking help in rehab in 2015, Kate discovered meditation, which ignited her spiritual journey and helped her find connection. Realizing her passion for helping others, she began blogging while running her restaurants. As her desire to serve grew, she sold both businesses to pursue life coaching in early 2023. After discovering somatic breathwork, she became certified in January 2024 and now leads transformative journeys, guiding others back to themselves. So, speaking of which, we just did a breathwork session. And it was all about dreams and opening our heart and giving ourselves permission to know that the dreams that are in our heart are placed there for us and for the collective, and allowing space to expand our capacity to allow these dreams into our heart and allow them to feel fully embodied in ourselves. And we also had a little bit of a side theme about friendship and love. And so Kate is bravely, courageously just coming literally fresh out of having that breathwork session. And I'm just curious if you're even able to form words, how that is for you, what that feels like in your body, what it was like before your session today, and then
Yeah,
now, like any aha moments. Just
yeah,
can't wait to
yeah,
hear. Can't wait to hear.
yeah. So this is a first coming out and being in that theta brainwave state and then jumping on an interview for a podcast. So that's super exciting. And I just feel so good. So thank you so much. That was so lovely. I didn't even get a chance to tell you yet as we came out and came right onto this call. It was absolutely gorgeous. And I went to the gym this morning, high intensity hit workout, came home. It was hair washing day. So I quickly washed my hair. It's kind of go, go, go all the way into the journey,
Nice.
which I try not to do, but it still is, everything's perfect and divine. And I knew that that was exactly where I needed to be. And it was wonderful. It was exactly what I needed. I am so much calmer and it just feels so good right now. And that was an incredible journey. As always, you're so, so talented. You're right in your element, your voice, the music, everything. I love how you encourage us to go primal. And this time, I've done several breathworks with you, but this time I really went more primal. I felt it. I was like growling and a little bit of like yelling, but like deep masculine yelling, which is apparently what I needed. And on the other side, yeah, I had a major aha today, which was I have been doing some work on with my inner child, and I had recently written down, where she was hurt, memories, exact memories. And so I went back to every one of those memories and I loved on her and I
Mm,
hugged her and
mm,
I gave her, oh gosh, it just feels so good. It feels
mm,
so much lighter.
that's so gorgeous. I'm so curious about your first experience of breath work, that moment of just knowing that this is what I want to do, not being a
Yeah.
restaurateur, like this is how I want to serve. What was that moment for you?
Yeah. So I wouldn't say it was my first somatic breathwork journey. However, that's an important thing to talk about. So, like you read in my bio, um, painkiller addiction is something I battled throughout my 20s into my early 30s. And I've always kind of felt like I was battling some sort of like finding the connection with myself and letting go of like a lot of those injuries that I had as a child, emotionally. So my first somatic breathwork journey after meditating for 9 years, and it took me a long time to get good at it or whatever. But I stuck with it, and spirituality saved my life and changed
Mm.
everything for me. And that
Wow.
first somatic breath work that I did was actually who ended up being my coach, the program I went into. And I did it and I screamed out, I did the full somatic release and was like, oh my gosh, in 9 years, something I had been like carrying around that I'd done so much work on and done so many programs, it left my body. It left my
Mm.
body in that very first one.
Mm.
And it's not all of it. There's so much, like even, breathwork is so amazing and that every single journey is different. And every single journey, my body divinely knows what to do. Whether I went to the gym and I'm running around crazy and I had maybe a little bit of coffee before I did a breath work, which we try not to do, right? But so that very first one, I felt like in 9 years of trying or 8 years of trying to come back home to myself, to really feel my spirit and my soul. Stronger souls named that for that reason. Stronger soul, stronger connection. I felt like I got it in the first
Mm.
breathwork session.
Isn't that fabulous? It's
Amazing.
so magical. It's so effective. It's such a hack. It's like, I
Mhm.
always like to say it's like 10 years of therapy because I did therapy most of my life. And in a period of doing breath work quite consistently, like you've
Yeah.
been doing, I was
Yeah.
able to heal relationships with my mom. That
Mhm.
my relationship with my mom had gotten to a point where I was like, I don't even know how
Mhm.
to relate to her in this moment.
Yeah.
Like we've had chapters,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden I just healed it. And then
Yeah.
all the wounded shit with my dad just healed it. It's like
Yeah.
such a hack, right?
Yeah, yeah. A hack is a great way to describe it, but it's so much more. But, it is a hack. It's like, it is something I think everybody needs in their tool belt. I really do. And being a breathwork facilitator, the ego gets a little scared to try it because it's going to challenge that ego's sense of safety. And that's
Yes.
exactly what we need to do. It's
Yes.
exactly what we need to do because that
Yes.
ego self, the wounded child self, is putting up these barriers to protect us. And that's what I felt for those, before and after treatment. I felt these barriers that I could not find to break through. And that's what somatic breathwork does for me.
So when you say somatic breath work, how is that different from someone else who just says breath work, or someone who
Sure,
says tractive breath work, or someone who says halo breath work, or someone who
sure.
says mountain breath work, or stronger soul breath? Like, what is the somatic
Yeah.
breath work specifically? Why do we put the word somatic in front of it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, first of all breath work is amazing and highly, highly recommended. I'm in a course right now where we have to breathe once an hour. And I'm like, I'm a breathwork coach. But I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to breathe once an hour. Wow, it's big on just connecting back to your body. But with somatic or transformational breath work, as we call it, we're having that full body experience. And so that breathing of overloading our oxygen, off gassing our carbon dioxide is getting us out of our minds. And I'm one of those people that prior to years of meditation, it was busy and it was busy with intrusive thoughts. And so meditation helps a lot. And breathwork takes it one step further, where it really kind of takes the mind offline and allows us to drop into our body. And that body connection, it's everything. It's really like that's the ultimate hack right there is that body connection, right?
So, what I'm hearing is that it's about the embodiment piece
Yes.
of it.
Mhm.
When you said that you're doing a course right now where, sorry, the dogs are barking and the
That's
cleaners
okay.
just came in. When you said that you're doing a course right now where you breathe every hour, so do you have a timer on your phone that goes
Yeah.
off? And then what do you do when that timer goes off?
So we're doing alternate nostril breathing, which is fun. I learned it when I went through Breath Masters course, but I didn't use it a lot. And even like in the heat of the moment, I'd maybe do a box breath or just a longer exhale. But we're breathing in and then shifting to the other nostril, breathing out, back in, and it's working with both sides of the brain, and it's so beneficial and it works so quickly. And even if maybe I don't feel like I need it. And that alarm goes off. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it for even 5 rounds. I'm like, oh, I do feel better. I do feel
So,
more
so
connected.
for those of you who can't see Kate, she's putting one finger on one nostril
Mm.
and closing one nostril, and then she's breathing in, and then she's putting another finger on her other nostril and releasing, correct?
Correct. Thank you for that. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And so you do that how many rounds each hour?
It's maybe like 90 seconds or 2 minutes. But like
Okay.
I said, I'm just kind of rushing through it. I'll do it like maybe 20 seconds, maybe 5 times in through each side.
So
And that
when,
helps.
okay, so when you stop and you bring that consciousness to your breath in that way, what is this called again?
Alternate nostril breathing.
Alternate nostril breathing. What does that do for you? What is your experience in your body and in your mind and in your soul when you do this every hour? What is it?
Yeah.
What's happening?
In my mind, it kind of like somatic breath work a little bit. It takes it down. It like just slows the chatter because there's a little bit of thinking involved. And so I'm now focusing on something and
Yes.
conscious and we're thinking about which finger and when. And so we're focused. And I'm the breathing itself, it's bringing me back to my body. It just calms my nervous system is the best way to say it in a quick way.
And do you have, when you're doing this, do you have moments of aha that you didn't have in the middle of those two sessions that are like, oh, wait a minute, actually, I need to do this, and you pivot?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I would at first say, no, I don't think so. But yes. And here's why, because it brings me back down to equilibrium, back to homeostasis. And so my thinking power and whatever I'm working on coming back into it is now more aligned. It's more not forced, not so much from the thinking brain, so much as from the embodiment.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
less strategizing and more
Yeah.
being in rhythm with your body and with the energy of your environment. And then you actually can be more creative, right? You can be
Yes.
more of yourself. Do you find it brings you back to your authenticity?
Yes. 100%. That's a great way to say it. Yes.
And also, perhaps it also helps you expand your capacity to feel good.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. And I had never done one on the hour every hour. And so it's been a game changer. It's been really good.
How many days have you done this for? Like a couple or a week or
Sorry, this is coming into the third week of the program that I'm in, but I've only probably done it about a week and a half, a week.
that's a lot.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
amazing. Wow.
There's times that I do snooze it if I'm busy or doing something, but yeah,
I think that's incredible. Like, is it going to
thank you.
go off while we're talking and we'll just
I
stop and do
quieted him for,
it?
yeah, yeah,
We'll
we can
stop
do
and
it
do it. We
together.
can do it together. Maybe you can lead us through it right now. Like,
Sure,
tell
sure,
us how to do it.
absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go right hand, right thumb, right nostril. And we're gonna breathe in through our left nostril all the way to the top slowly. And we're gonna replace our ring finger, same hand, over our left nostril. Breathe out through the other nostril. And we're gonna breathe back in through the same nostril. Replace your thumb over that nostril. Release your ring finger, breathe out. Breathe back in. Replace your right finger. Breathe back out. One more time. Back in, same nostril. Replace with your thumb. Breathe out and feel.
That felt
Uh,
incredible. I love how it gives your mind something to do because there's a coordination to it.
yeah,
So that slows the mind. It's like, ooh, I can glom onto that. So
yeah.
the mind gets to glom onto that activity. And
Mhm.
then that in and out of the breath. I need a tissue, but it
Yeah,
was really calming. I love
yeah,
that. It was, and it's so simple and it's just such a short period of time, but I can feel that
yeah.
equilibrium that came online just from doing that and slowing down.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
my question that came through when we were doing that was, is this what you wish you had had in your 20s?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The quick answer is yes. I wish I had a lot of things, but I don't wish because honestly, so many things, so many beautiful things have happened to lead me where I am today. And all of it had to happen for me to blossom the way that I blossomed. But for people that are struggling right now, I think breathwork therapy, like you said, is fantastic. I don't think it's an exception for therapy, but I think combined with, or if maybe you don't need therapy, but you need, I'll sing the praises of our breath work from the highest mountain that I can. It's amazing and it's incredible. And every breathwork teacher is a little bit different and brings something different to the table and something that they're embodying. And it's a true spirit coming through us. And it's just incredible.
Yes, yes, yes. And so, what is an experience you've had either facilitating for a group or facilitating one-on-one where you saw the person prior to the breathwork session feeling tight, constricted, sad, scared, angry, what have you,
Yeah.
stressed? And then what was that transformation like? Or is there someone you worked with specifically like 10 sessions in a row and you've seen something transform? Like, what was that for you?
Yeah. Yeah. So the first thing that comes to mind is a session that I did at a local martial arts studio a few weeks ago. And collectively, it was about 50-50 of people that have breathed with me before and people that haven't. And I've gotten very accustomed to the newcomers being very nervous. Like their ego is stirred up and they're excited, but they have no idea. As much as we try to explain what's going to happen, you can't explain because every session is different too. And so collectively, I think I had 12 individuals in the room. Like I said, 50-50. And it's a great room and everything was just really the energy was just so great that day. And the journey was wonderful. And everybody tapped in. Everybody went deep. Everybody really, really let themselves go and gave themselves permission to lean in. And when we were done, I mean, just around the room, like tears, but tears of happiness, tears of gratitude, sharing it more so than most of my group journeys. I always have a few shares. Almost everybody shared. And like they're meeting each other, they're hugging each other. So that is my group session example. And as far as my individual session, um, I love working with people for multiple sessions. And so I'm working with a father and son, and it was about their fourth session. And I
That's so
know,
beautiful.
about the father's background and what I was working with him through. And the first sessions were really good, and his wife was really excited. She was kind of filling me in on how he is at home. And this fourth session, he finally just opened up and he had a huge somatic release. I just like saw physical stress leave his body. He had the first emotional release of all the sessions, not the last, but the first. It took 4 sessions. All the other sessions were great. He loved it. Felt like he was
Mm-hmm.
flying at the end. But he had that big emotional release, that big somatic release. And like his wife has sent me just pages of how much different he is and how
Wow.
she has a version of her husband she's never had before. And I
Oh,
love, 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 love doing that. That's my most favorite thing in the world is working with people multiple times to have them build on each other.
yeah, it's so gorgeous. I remember the
Yes.
first time, like, it was maybe like 20 something years ago. I don't even know. But I
Wow.
was living in New York City and I started doing a trade. I was facilitating Reiki for my girlfriend and she was facilitating breathwork for me. And that was called conscious connected breathwork or
Mm-hmm.
rebirthing breathwork.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember she was like, we got to do 10 sessions. We're going to do 10 like once a week or twice a week. And that was to just fully flesh out all the way back to the womb, the trauma that was in the body,
Wow.
stored in the body. And I remember just falling in love with the whole experience. And I
Yeah.
think there is something so precious and beneficial and beautiful about someone that you trust, that's safe, that gives you that
Yeah.
strong foundation like you're doing? Because clearly, right? And I've been in your classes and you do this, is that clearly you give this strong soul foundation
Yeah.
for the other person to have that somatic experience, because that is what we need, is that feeling of safe space. That's the
Yeah.
platform, that's the foundation. And then from that safe space that the facilitator is setting for you
Yeah.
energetically and in their heart and the way that they're speaking to you, then you can start to be the safe space for yourself. And I
Yeah.
think that's what's so beautiful is, like you say, the magic and the miracles get to happen when we create the space.
Yeah.
We set the
It's,
intention, we use the beautiful music, and we guide you, we guide you, we guide you so that you
yeah.
can have. And what I think is so interesting is you said like half of the class was new, but they all went deep. And there's something about being in a group setting that gives everyone else permission.
Yeah.
It gives them permission to release when you release, like a domino effect. But some people, like you said, the ego gets stirred up. I love how you said that the ego gets stirred up. It's the ego. It's not the whole person. It's the ego
No.
gets stirred up. And so my question for you is, for people that get kind of their backs up about, I don't want to hear other people having their experiences. It feels too personal. Like, I don't want to hear you moan or tone or groan or scream or cry. That feels uncomfortable. How would you help them to feel more comfortable with that experience?
Yeah. So in every group session that I give in my introduction, I say, we're going to have a somatic release, which is a scream. And I say, you don't have to scream. You don't have to scream, but everybody around you is going to be screaming and I'm going to be screaming. So nobody's going to know if you did or didn't scream. You're the only one that'll know. So that being said, I also always encourage tears. I always encourage that sort of release. And so I also try to have the music as loud and as immersive as I can in a
Love it.
room.
Love
And
it.
so that helps a lot. And I give out eye masks to everyone. And so it's really immersive. And once you get into that conscious connected breathing and you get into that pattern, I say it might be distracting the first two or three songs, but if you're not really dropping in and breathing, like let's breathe a little bit deeper and a little bit faster if we're distracted by our neighbor in the fourth or fifth song. That's what I would say. Because really this hack, this beautiful breath work, the somatic breath work is designed to help you get away from the overthinking or over worrying about what's around you, right?
Yeah, it's so much like, here's your permission slip to, in this space, not have to
Yes.
control and not have to protect.
Yes.
Because I think,
100.
right, like so much of our life is feeling, of course, like we have to control and we have to protect, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. Right.
And how wouldn't it be incredible if the more this is brought to the forefront, because it's so popular now, that we could start to have that, like Brene Brown talks about, that vulnerability just in our daily life more and
Yeah.
more. Like maybe we could cry in front of each other more often. Maybe
Yeah.
we could breathe deeper together in spaces where it's not quotes breath work more often. Maybe we could like process our whole experience of how we're responding to something just in our conversations with each other, like
Yeah.
bringing this work to our daily life.
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious, Kate, what are some ways that you can think of or feel into that are like, oh, that was me bringing the breath work, the somatic experience, the nervous system regulation into daily life, in your experiences, exchanges, rooms that you're in, interviews, what have you?
Yeah. With myself or with teaching other people.
Either, either.
Yeah. So I mean, with myself, I breathe. I try to breathe at least like once a week in a somatic breathwork journey because I need it. I feel I feel like I show up as the best version of myself to all of my friends, my family, all the people that count on me. And, just in my everyday life, if I breathe somatic breathwork more often, I'm showing up as a better and higher version of myself. As far as with other people, I use ever since becoming a breathwork coach, I help people breathe through trauma and stress all the time. Doesn't have to be the big somatic transformational journeys. One of the things that we forget, the first thing that kind of leaves us when we're in a state of panic is our breath. And that connecting back to your body, slowing down, looking somebody in the eye, being that safe space. I'm glad that you brought that up. It does feel unsafe out here. It does.
Mm.
And, even the best and the people that meditate every single morning and do all the things there's still a sense of insecurity with, everything that's going on. We won't even go there, but I think whether you do a somatic breath work or you go into alternate nostril breathing, if anything, when you're stressed out, close your eyes, bring the breath down into your belly, slow it down, because that's what people are forgetting. And so I use it a lot with reminding my husband and reminding my daughter and breathing with my friends. Um, so yeah, I use it all the time in everything.
Amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I back to a little bit of the experience I was sharing earlier about my relationship with my parents, is
Yeah.
I was able to say to my mom, I'm going to be safe for you because I've done so much
Mm,
breath work for myself that I know now that I can trust myself, that I want to give you the experience that I give my clients. And
wow.
I'm going to be safe for you, meaning I'm not going to jab at you or unconsciously trigger you or say, oh well, in my childhood you did this or you didn't do that, or of
Yeah.
course try and change her,
Right.
because I was always trying to change her. And
Yeah.
so it's like, oh, it's that work of the surrender is a practice that we get to
Yes.
practice over and over when we're doing our breath work. And so it's that surrender of, oh, wait, actually, and this is so good because, like, I so want to change people, my environment. I want to change my environment so I feel okay. That's the codependency.
Mm,
But actually the surrender that we practice in breathwork allows me to be like, oh, actually I can be safe for myself no matter who you're being or how you're being
yeah.
or what you're
Yeah.
doing or saying. I can be my own nervous system regulating machine over here in the face of all of it,
Yeah.
all of the family stuff. I mean, we're coming into the holidays,
Yeah.
right? So we know as spiritual light workers, we know that the ultimate test of our enlightenment and our transformative practices is being around family during holidays. That's
Sure.
like, oh, are you enlightened? Are you? Because
Hmm.
let's get into the holidays and then we'll see. Because
Yeah.
everyone gets triggered when we go into those spaces of real familiarity from our childhood. And
Hmm.
those relationships we have with the people closest to us, those are the ones that are meant to trigger us. So let's talk about triggers. What do you want to
Yeah.
share about triggers?
Um, I want to share, I guess it's funny because my husband and my daughter always say, "Are you triggered? Are you triggered?" Because I do have those. I do have that like quick, and I've learned through Tracy Litt's work isn't that interesting? And
Mm,
that has been so helpful to say, isn't that interesting? And a lot of times it is my inner child, my little girl that I helped heal today, thanks to you. Feeling not good enough, feeling unworthy, feeling self-doubt, and feeling attacked when it's not meant to be an attack on me. I've come a long way, and I give all of my spiritual work and a lot of the breath work on that because I had big buttons to push. My guy friends would always say, Kate's buttons are so big, it's so easy to push her buttons. And they got a kick
wow.
out of it. And I would get over it quickly, growing up with a lot of guy friends. But yeah, my triggers used to be so much stronger. And I definitely am able to easily recognize other people's triggers now for what they are. And it's
Wow.
their wounded childhood self that's responding in that way, not representative of what you did. I mean, we always have to have, autonomy and authority over what we're saying to not hurt people. But sometimes, you just like, wow, where did that come from? Even, a waitress. We had a waitress the other day that was so downright rude. And I'm
Mm.
just like, I don't think she even knows it.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's really that autonomy and that authority
Hmm.
of self. And I love to say in class, like, you are your own authority. And I think
Yeah,
that's important for people to hear listening to this episode. If they're
yeah,
new to breathwork or if they've had a breathwork experience that they didn't love, I
yeah,
think it's important to know that you are your own authority. So if you walk into Kate's class or my class and you're not feeling like you're ready to go super, super deep, or you're ready to scream, or you're ready to cry, that's okay.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah, like you were saying, like you can ease into it. Like the dad took 4 sessions and that was okay with you
yep,
because we travel at the rate of safety, right? We
yeah.
progress at the rate of safety and we get
Hmm.
to be in charge of how deep and how wide and how fast and how much.
Absolutely.
And it, like you said, it's different every time.
Yep.
So one day you might really go in and do that inner child, wounded inner child healing like Kate did today. And another day it's not the day for it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I've had breathworks that made me a little frustrated, irritated, angry, maybe even. And it's all part of it. It's exactly what I needed to feel because we need to feel our emotions. We're not feeling them, a lot of us, and for a big part of our life, we're not actually feeling the way that we feel about things. We're trying to shove it
Yes.
down and we're people
Yes.
pleasing and we're codependent or all these different things. So I just know, and I try to coach as well, that anything and everything that comes to the surface is for you. And
Mm.
it's there to process. And I didn't have to process, a lot. I didn't have to like get super angry or tell anybody off. But I was just like, I'm a little frustrated. But I felt so much relief later that day,
Hmm.
that I got to feel that emotion. I got to feel that frustration or whatever.
Yeah. So when you're in traffic or when you're noticing that there's a certain area or certain way that your frustration, your anger, your rage comes out unconsciously, not you, Kate, personally, but just people in general, you can now take that's in there. It's in there, right? And you see it
Hmm.
come out unconsciously in various ways that you didn't plan. You can take that, what's in there, and you can place it in your breathwork session.
Yeah.
And then that's the space, the safe, conscious space where you can release it all and leave it
Hmm.
all on the floor. And then it's not actually going to be in there to unconsciously release later on when you're scaring someone else because you're yelling in traffic,
Yeah.
right?
Very well said. Exactly that. It's consciously, specifically giving yourself the time to feel it all and knowing that intentions are beautiful and are wonderful in a journey. And I always ask for intentions. Your body is so smart. Give it the chance, and it'll do exactly what it needs for you to expand you to your next greatest potential.
Mm. I want to kind of start to wrap up with talking about the permission to dream, which was our
Yeah.
theme today.
Yeah.
What do you feel like saying about that?
Well, your home at the end was absolutely gorgeous. And I loved the permission to dream, and what the words that you used were so elegant in the beginning, and it helped soothe and calm my mind and my body that had been going crazy all morning doing all of these things. I sat down and I'm ready to do breath work. I know the breathing pattern and stuff, but it was like this was it the permission to dream is beautiful because we all do have dreams inside of us, and that they're big dreams and they're powerful, and we hold ourselves back in so many ways, right? That's what I've been working in course after course and all these different things on trying to stop holding myself back. And I have big dreams, I have big, huge, massive dreams. And every one of those permission slips given to me, locked in with somatic work to really feel and embody it is just, it's priceless. It really is freaking priceless. That's what I think of somatic breath work and you as a coach and your sessions, they're priceless. They're amazing and
Mm.
beautiful. And I appreciate you so much.
Oh, thank you, Kate. Thank you so much. I so receive that and appreciate that. And you're just uniquely, gorgeously in your own right, and a very powerful facilitator. So anyone
Thank
is
you.
going to be hugely benefited by dropping in to any of your opportunities. And I'll put the links. Where do you want people to find you?
Yeah, so strongersoul.com is my website and Stronger Soul PNW on Instagram. I put all of my breathworks there. I do some in person and I do Zooms once in a while. And I'm actually launching my first course next month because I'm so excited to work with people for multiple weeks in a row. So we're going to do a 4-week course with some coaching. I'm really excited about that. And I wanted to say something that I think is really powerful is when I get done leading a breath work, especially a really powerful one, I feel the same effects as if I had just breathed the breath work. And you talked a lot today about the collective and that ripple effect. And it's 1000% true is that the more you heal yourself, the more we heal the collective. And that's how I feel when I'm able to help facilitate other people's healing. So it's just incredible. It's so
Mhm.
full circle. It's amazing. I can't speak highly enough of that.
Collective stronger souls,
Yes.
collective
Yes.
building each other up, building each other up, supporting each other, loving
Yes.
on each
Yes.
other.
Yes.
You know, it's like we're all here to help each other grow. So let's
100.
get to it. Let's get to it,
Yes.
guys. So here's your call to action is if you haven't taken a breathwork class before and you happen to be listening to this because you got a little curious, I encourage you to find a breathwork facilitator, try one, try another one, try a few, try
Mhm.
10. I've tried so many and they're all unique and beautiful. Try some breathwork, try the practice we just did today, listen back and do it again anytime you want to. And let yourself have a new experience because you might have had breath work 10 years ago and maybe it was you're a different person today. Let yourself have a new experience. That's my call to action. Keep allowing yourself as slowly as you need to expand your capacity to feel good. We are loving you, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Thank you so much, Kate. You're so amazing. And I can't wait to
Thank you,
be with
Siri.
you. We're gonna have so
Oh,
much
I
fun
know. I can't wait. I'm
together.
so excited to hug you in person. I
We're
can't
gonna
wait.
we're gonna room together in LA. So we'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.